Baha'u'llah's imprisonment in the Black Pit of Tehran was intended to crush his spirit and destroy the momentum of a newborn faith. But in that dungeon, at the lowest point of his physical life, the Spirit of God spoke to Baha'u'llah's agonized soul. Like God's messengers of the past, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, Baha'u'llah received a revelation that was not of himself, but from a source far greater.
While engulfed in tribulations, I heard a most wondrous, a most sweet voice calling above my head. Turning my face, I beheld a maiden, the embodiment of the remembrance of the name of my Lord, suspended in the air before me. Pointing with her finger unto my head, she addressed all who are in heaven and all who are on earth, saying, By God, this is the best beloved of the worlds, and yet ye comprehend not. This is the beauty of God amongst you, and the power of his sovereignty within you, could ye but understand. This is the mystery of God and his treasure, the cause of God and his glory unto all who are in the kingdoms of revelation and of creation, if ye be of them that perceive.
One night in a dream he heard,
Grieve thou not for that which hath befallen thee, neither be thou afraid, for thou art in safety. Ere long will God raise up the treasures of the earth, men who will aid thee through thyself and through thy name.
The closing weeks of 1852, Baha'u'llah was brought out of that sewer that was used for a prison. He came before the court of the Shah in heavy chains and dressed in the rags that he wore for more than 4 months, and he received his sentence. He was granted life, but life in exile. He was stripped of all that he possessed. His acceptance of these dictates began a period of more than 40 years of exile and imprisonment. Baha'u'llah, along with a small group of companions and family members, was first banished to Baghdad, where he spent over 10 years resolving to revive the dispirited followers of the Bab.
The community was in disarray, demoralized and confused. One of the outstanding features of this period was Baha'u'llah's ability to broaden the outlook and transform the character of those who remained faithful. He cultivated the principles of nonviolence, obedience to the authorities. He banned backbiting and demanded honesty and truthfulness, chastity and justice in their personal and public interactions.
The members of this exiled community and the community at large, under Baha'u'llah's spiritual leadership, soon became famous for the integrity of their character, the purity of their motives, the nobility of their deeds, and the excellence of their conduct. It was here, outside Baghdad in 1863, in a garden he named Rizwan, or Paradise, that he gathered a group of followers and publicly declared that he was the promised one of whom the Bab had foretold.
I am come to you, O people, from the throne of glory, and bear you an announcement from God.
He said,
This message from God was expected by all of the religions of the past. Every prophet hath announced the day, and every messenger hath yearned for this revelation.
He said that religion is one just as the sun. Just as religions have dawned in the past, so would they rise in the future.
Every one of them is the way of God, connecting this realm with the realms above. Each one of them is known by a different name, is characterized by a different attribute, and fulfills a definite mission.
He proclaimed the unity of God, recognized the divine origin of all the prophets, and upheld the principle of the oneness of the entire human race. As Baha'u'llah's followers began to grow, Ottoman and Persian authorities sought once again to suppress his influence by exiling him further west, to Constantinople, then to Adrianople.
It was during this time that Baha'u'llah sent his first challenge to the rulers of the world.
O king, I was but a man like you.
He challenged them to unite and fortify their alliances rather than their borders. He warned them against fundamentalism and intolerance.
Religious fanaticism and hatred are a world-devouring fire, a desolating affliction whose violence none can quench.
The place chosen for his final banishment was Akka, a prison city located on the coast of present-day Israel. Its reputation as the harshest and most vile prison colony in the Turkish Empire was notorious. In 1868, Baha'u'llah in heavy chains and about 70 followers and family members were locked into their cells. While confined in the prison city of Akka, Baha'u'llah wrote many of his important works, explaining the laws and principles enshrined in God's latest message to humankind.
His teachings unconditionally uphold the eternal truths found in the sacred scriptures, reaffirm their common purpose, and acknowledge his own revelation to be but one link in the chain of one single and continual progressive revelation from God. At the core, his writings teach that there is one God who is called by various names in different faiths and languages. He explains that there is but one religion of God, and that its truths have been unfolded to humanity over time by universal divine teachers: Krishna, Moses, Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad.
For one who had spent most of his adult life in prison and exile, he revealed a profound global perspective when he wrote,
It is not for him to pride himself who loveth his own country, but rather for him who loveth the whole world. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens.